You know, one of the most popular videos on this channel is a video about me talking about my DVD collection. I put out a video called, what is it called? I regret decluttering my DVDs. I mean, it's very literal. I regret decluttering my DVDs in 2017, 2016. I got rid of all my DVDs. I donated some to the library. I sold the rest in a big lot on eBay, and I had no physical media. Because at that time, I was lulled into a feeling of like, why would I need to put in a DVD? And they were DVDs. I didn't own any Blu-rays. Why would I need to put in a DVD anymore? TVs have evolved. It looks like crap on TV. It was like 480p when everything was on Netflix. Okay, I was lulled into a sense of comfort that I would find anything I needed to watch on Netflix because all the movies were on Netflix. There's no other streaming service. Everything you wanted to watch was on Netflix. And oh, you got like some original programming. You had Stranger Things. Oh boy, was I wrong. Oh boy, did some people tell me how wrong I was. They like virtually spanked me as if I could see the future in 2016. So we all know how this saga of streaming ended. I felt like I was really tricked. I was very optimistic in the progression of technology. I was never a first adopter, but I was always like probably second tier adopter of technology. It was a time of optimism. I was optimistic. Well, I shouldn't have been. That video was me kind of just talking about how I was feeling about the state of streaming. I thought I was the only one, but it turns out that a lot of you feel the same way, in that we all think streaming has gradually worsened. We were frogs being boiled in water. You know, you just put a frog in water, slowly crank up the heat. Things slowly got worse. And next thing you know, you have no movies in your possession. You think all your movies are going to be on Netflix, and then one day, one night, you wanted to see Jaws, your top 3 favorite movie. Jaws was nowhere to be found. You thought it'd always be on Netflix. It was not on Netflix. It was like swimming around HBO Max or HBO Max. I don't know. It was having, that channel was having an identity crisis. So then that's why I decided to repurchase DVDs again. I learned my lesson. So it's been over a year, maybe 2 years. I've whittled down my streaming services. I've been canceling subscriptions left and right. I haven't been subscribed to Netflix since 2023. I haven't been subscribed to anything really. And then this year we axed Amazon Prime because, you know, they said next day, came 2 days later. I'm not paying for your wedding, Bezos. Basically, I'm operating on no streaming services, but we still have one subscription, and we're in the works of getting rid of that too. And that subscription is Spotify. And you're like, oh my, you're gonna get rid of music from your life? Well, here's the thing. I am a person who likes what she likes, knows what she knows in terms of music. And I have this running, I have one playlist, one personalized playlist on Spotify. And it's basically like a catch-all playlist of every song that I've ever liked starting 2015 or so. And it's just been dumped into this playlist. So that's why it's the most random playlist ever. When I worked in an office, I kind of like commandeered the speakers and I hooked up my playlist to it. And anybody who listens to this playlist is like, what kind of station is this? Who mixed these songs? Led Zeppelin one moment, and then it'll switch to Frozen the next moment, Bruce Springsteen the next moment, and it'll switch to Les Mis the next moment, and then you got some country. And who has a playlist that has Frozen next to WAP? This is like the craziest playlist ever. And my husband likes to discover new music on Spotify. I don't like to discover new music on Spotify. I know what I know. I like what I like. I have like a handful of like 5 artists that I listen to again and again. And of those 5 artists, I only have like my favorite songs of theirs in this crazy playlist. But he likes to discover new music. And he's noticed a lot of AI songs and a lot of AI artists And he knows this because the artist just started their account a week ago and all of a sudden they have 20 albums. AI generated music is now climbing the charts on Spotify. See, that's another abomination here. One way or another, everybody listens to music, and there's nothing more personal than a song that really touches you. And there's also nothing more personal than the backstory of how a musician came to produce or write their song. That's why you have so many musical biops. That's why you have literally VH1 behind the music, because we all care about what happens behind the music, how the band broke up, how the band got back together. Like, that's something we all care about. And for that to be stamped down by AI slop climbing the music charts makes me sick. I can't even. Ugh! I'm as mad as hell. I'm gonna say something about it. I feel like Spotify has been infested by AI now. They don't pay their artists anything either. So therefore, we're in the process of cutting that subscription as well. So we will literally be streaming zero. I actually have screenshots of my Spotify Wrapped. And in case you don't know what that is, in case you really are a Luddite but just happens to watch YouTube, at the end of every year, Spotify gives you like the data or the statistics or the list of your most listened to song or your top 5 artists and stuff. So I've taken screenshots of my Spotify Wrapped every year since like 2022. And it seems like I listen to the same artists over and over again, which is the Midnight and Bruce Springsteen. In 2023, I stopped listening to podcasts, but my favorite podcast was My Favorite Murder. In 2024, top artist was The Midnight, then Taylor Swift, then Bruce Springsteen, then Andrew Lloyd Webber, and then Frankie Valli in the Four Seasons. That's weird. That's random. I don't know what I was doing in 2024, but apparently my top song was Antihero. My second top song was December 1963. Oh, what a night. Why did I suddenly start listening to Frankie Valli? We're getting old here. Do I even own any of Four Seasons? Is because I watch Jersey Boys and I'm like, ooh, that's embarrassing. So it seems that I have the taste of somebody who really likes the 80s. And then for some reason, Frankie Valli. I figure I already own these records. I could just listen to the records over and over again. The only problem is I won't have anything to listen to in my car. But given that I listen to Bruce Springsteen and Frankie Valli, those are oldies. So I could just go to the oldies station. So I don't need Spotify anymore. So my point is, it's so hot in here. Like if you were to touch my neck right now, it's like a sheen of sweat. It doesn't smell. It kind of smells like fries. I wasn't planning on filming today because I have this lump on my chin because some mosquito bit me in the face. I don't know if you guys feel it. I'm sure you do. It's just a general enshitification of everything. I've already talked at length about the enshitification of social media platforms. We have seen the gradual worsening of streaming in every single way possible. But now there are items that have become enshitified that I didn't even think it was possible to enshitify. Every single thing, like I feel like every single thing is failing. It's like full-on failure of the body. Like your heart fails and your liver fails and kidney fails, and then all of a sudden you're in like the ICU. Like your free trial period is over. So that's what we're going to talk about today. My name is Teresa, and we are officially entering our enshitification era. Makes me sick. Ugh. I feel like we're in the middle of this enshitification. I don't think we're in late stage enshitification just yet. And by the way, enshitification, for those of you who are not chronically online, in its simplest terms, I would say it is when something ain't broke, and then the company decides to change it, innovate it, and then they broke it. You have a product that's more annoying, more difficult to use, not as enjoyable, less efficient, more expensive than the original product. And why did they change it? Greed. They got to squeeze out as much profit or more profit year after year after year. The person who ends up paying for it is you, us, the users. The wheel is working. Don't reinvent the wheel. And if you're going to reinvent the wheel, why is the wheel worse now than before? Just change it back. Tragically, once it's changed for the worse, it cannot be changed back. You follow me? The washer dryer. There's nothing wrong with the washer dryer how it was in the 90s, early 2000s. There's nothing wrong with it. It has one job: to wash and to dry. You have a knob, you have a button, and that's it. You wash and you dry. So tell me why a washer dryer nowadays requires you to download an app. Why is that necessary? If you're in an area where your Wi-Fi is not working, then you can't wash and dry. A lot of parking lots app base. I don't want to download any more apps. I run a tight ship on my phone. I sure as hell am not downloading some like janky little app. Just let me put $5 in a meter and give me a ticket. Why is it so difficult? The most BS thing I've ever heard, the HP printer wants you to be in some kind of subscription service. Like, what the hell? You already bought the printer, you bought the ink, and then now there's a subscription involved with the amount of pages you print. Subscription services. Oh my God. Technology is supposed to make life easier, but I feel like it's making life more difficult. I've always had this fear of turning into an old person who doesn't know how to figure out technology, but then at the same time, it already works and they broke it. Back in the day when we had regular TV, there would be commercials, and I wouldn't mind the commercials on TV because you know why? Because TV was free. They weren't that much. In a 30-minute show, there would be like maybe a few ad breaks, a few commercial breaks, and then that was a sign for you to go use the bathroom or do whatever it is you do. And now if you do pay for a streaming service, like Netflix, for instance, and then you have the ad tier and then the no ad tier. Several years back, when you're paying for a streaming service, you didn't have any commercials. That's the reason why you paid for it. Like almost as if they're holding their media hostage or threatening you with commercials unless you pay for premium. It didn't need to be that way. They just decided to just add more ads so they can make more money. Well, why did we get rid of actual TV when it was free? As a millennial who has lived in a world without a lot of technology and a world with technology, I always thought that technology is supposed to help us. I was not against the development of AI, but why hasn't anybody thought of developing something that could help me clean my bathroom or help me do the dishes? Why can't they create like a self-cleaning bathroom? There's public bathrooms out there that are kind of self-cleaning. Why can't we just take that as a stepping point and create an actual bathroom that is self-cleaning so I don't have to clean the bathroom, which I never do anyways? Why don't we have technology like that instead? AI is just here to annoy us with a lot of slap videos that feel cheap and icky. Instead, AI is trying to take over creative jobs when it should really just be cleaning the bathroom. I feel like it's overstepping here. Basically, I need an AI maid, an AI servant. It needs to like do the basic domestic chores around the house. I can live in a beautiful environment so that I can create art. Instead, it wants to create the art, which is not doing a very good job of. And then what am I supposed to do? Clean the bathroom? Since graduating in 2023, this person has applied for 5,762 tech jobs, which netted him 13 job interviews, but no full-time job offers. This year, he applied for a job at McDonald's to help cover expenses, but he was rejected for lack of experience. Like, what the hell is happening? If you get rid of entry-level jobs, then you get rid of the opportunity for people to advance to mid-level or higher-level jobs. And then their entry-level jobs go away. In several years, there will be no promotions. Everybody in the mid-level or higher-level sphere, when those folks retire, who will replace them? Who will replace the man on top? More AI? If there is ever an analogy to describe the fracturing of your favorite movies spread out across like 20 plus streaming services now, it's like Voldemort came in and split his soul into 7 Horcruxes and then spread it out. In this case, it's 20 Horcruxes, and they ask you to pay $9.99 for each one. And then if you want no ads, and then if you want no ads, you have to pay extra. That's what bothers me the most, the fracturing, and also the addition of ads. It used to be like, when you paid for something, you didn't get any commercials. When you paid like for premium television or something, when you paid for HBO, you didn't get any commercials. But now you pay for something and then there's still ads. And sometimes they're the same ads, because at least with commercials, you had a variety of commercials. They never really played the same commercials back to back. Sometimes, okay, there are some times when there would be ads during, like, before a movie, like say on Amazon Prime, for instance. And sometimes they would play the same ad in the same round of ads, in the same loop. Like they would play like an ad for like a car, and then they would play the same ad back to back. At least with commercials, at least you had a variety of commercials, at least you were looking at something different here. That's what bothers me too, the lack of variety of ads. Failing in every aspect. The way I see it, these studios, when everything was in Netflix, I feel like they had a good thing going. If you were these studios, you already own the intellectual property, which is the movie, and you license it out to Netflix. The movie, like let's say Mrs. Doubtfire or something. It's like 30 something years old. You already own the movie's made, you already own the movie, and if you license it out, that's just extra money. That's just extra money. But then sinking a giant investment in your own streaming platform puts you in a hard position where you have to recoup that investment. This is when you're just licensing out your movie. That's just extra money that you're making on an intellectual property that's existed for 30 some years. You're not doing any extra work. The way I see it was during that time when every single studio, every single corporation had to start their own streaming service. It was kind of like they saw one person jump off a cliff. They're like, oh, I guess we got to do it too. If we don't do this too, we'll be left behind, because this is the future. Streaming is the future. In many ways, I feel like going off on your own platform really hurt them financially, because now they've sunk multiple millions of dollars into developing their own streaming services. Now they need subscribers. They have a couple of beloved movies. That's their intellectual property. And now they have to sink money into investing into original programming. So in that sense, I feel like they've really, I guess financially screwed themselves. In doing so, they're starting to panic, they're starting to panic. They need to make money back for their investors. So therefore, they're going to really squeeze the consumer, those sad saps that subscribes to their streaming service. They're going to really squeeze the end user if it's the price hike for the streaming service per month, or the addition of ads. Like, what a jip that is. Well, the reason you pay for a streaming service versus just having regular cable, regular TV. Not that I don't think there is regular TV anymore. That's the reason you pay for the privilege of not seeing the commercials. The price hikes every year. Used to be $7.99 for Netflix. Now it's like what, $14.99 ad tier or something. Like you're also paying for ads. Why are you paying so much? It doesn't make any sense. So I think it's just the whole panic of recouping their investment of the actual streaming platform versus they had a good thing going when they were just licensing out their intellectual property. I guess this is a lesson of the Emperor's New Clothes. Everybody's like, wow, that's a great outfit, and the Emperor's naked. There's just one kid that sees that the Emperor is naked and he just calls it out. He's not wearing any clothes. The kid in the Emperor's New Clothes, I believe, in this whole story is Sony. Sony is the kid in the Emperor's New Clothes, to my knowledge, and correct me if I'm wrong. They don't have their own streaming service, but they do own the rights to Spider-Man, which they license out. So it's just easy money for them. The most valuable thing you can own is intellectual property, and then don't build a platform for it. Have somebody else build the platform and license that out. Somebody more capable build a platform. Not everybody needs to have their own platform. When I was a kid, growing up in the 90s, you know what was always on TV? Just regular TV. Okay. When did regular TV go off air? When did analog TV end? Analog TV ended in 2009. You can always count that I Love Lucy will be a rerun. Every day, every single, maybe not Sundays, but like every single day, you can always count on daytime TV, there would be an hour of I Love Lucy. And I remember during Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, there would be an all-day I Love Lucy marathon. I Love Lucy was a show that I've watched, but I've always kind of taken for granted because it's always there. 100% in the 90s. If you wanted to watch I Love Lucy, just turn on your TV at 11 a.m. in the morning and it would always be there. Sometime in 2020, 2 or something. I felt like I wanted to watch I Love Lucy. I felt like a hankering to watch I Love Lucy, which is like something I never think about because it's always available and I've always taken it for granted. I realized I Love Lucy is no longer free. Where the fuck do I watch it? Where the fuck do I watch I Love Lucy? I have to pay for Paramount Plus to watch I Love Lucy? What kind of world do we live in that you can't even watch I Love Lucy for free? You know, like nobody has ever in the history of television paid for I Love Lucy. When television was created in the 50s, nobody paid for I Love Lucy. Through decades and decades, it's a tradition to watch it for free. It's meant to be free. And then one day I was thinking like, you know, I could really watch an episode of I Love Lucy. It's been years. It's been 15 years since I've watched an episode of I Love Lucy. It was like a constant soundtrack in my childhood as a rerun. And you know what? It wasn't free. This is even more messed up than me not being able to find Jaws or watch Jaws when I wanted to watch Jaws. The moment you cannot watch I Love Lucy for free, then you know that there's something wrong in this world. If there's any 80-year-old women out there watching this, like you're like, oh my God, you can't watch I Love Lucy for free? Well, you can't. That's why my name is Teresa, by the way, I can no longer endorse streaming in its enshitified state as a viable option for my home entertainment. And that's why I want to go streaming zero. Makes me sick. Ugh. Repulsed. I am repulsed. I've become a Luddite. Like I don't know where this is leading me. I don't know where cutting off Spotify will lead me. Shoot, I need to like find my book of CDs. I'm gonna go back to my parents. In this sense, I'm kind of grateful that they don't I want them to get rid of clutter, but I'm grateful that they didn't get rid of clutter because somewhere out there sitting in a hot car for the past 15 years is my book of mixtape CDs, of my book of CDs. And I don't even have a CD player. I got rid of it. You know, this very CD player that's now in a museum, that's how much time has passed. I got rid of it. My car is old enough. It's like 10 years old. It's new enough to have CarPlay, but old enough that it still has a CD player. I've never used the CD player, and I'm kind of afraid to use it because it's never been used. If I put a CD player, it'll get stuck. So maybe that's how I'm going to listen to my Bruce Springsteen mixtape. Because in 2013, I discovered Bruce Springsteen and I got really, like, he touched me in ways I've never been touched. You know, deep down, I'm like a blue-collared union man. It's like when I watch Jaws, you know which character of Jaws that I relate to the most? Quint. I don't trust these money bag people. Your hands are soft, Hoopa. Counting money all your life. Okay, that's enough.